topic is the factors affecting the photosynthesis. So, today we are going to study about how the various factors are involved in the photosynthesis, how they affect the increase or decrease in the rate of photosynthesis. Topic. The first factor is light intensity, and the rate of photosynthesis depends on both the quantity and quality of light. That means if sunlight is not present in enough quantity, means the sun is not as bright as it could be, as in the morning, early morning, or maybe in the evening, it is not as bright as it could be. So at that time, photosynthesis takes place, but less, not very much. When the light intensity is high, that the sun is very bright during the afternoon, maybe after 10 o'clock, from 11 to 4 o'clock. Usually, if it is not a cloudy weather, then sun is very bright. At that time, the photosynthesis, the rate of photosynthesis or amount of photosynthesis is very high. Now, light can be of varied colors like green, blue, yellow, any color light could be there. But photosynthesis takes place best at blue and red color light, while least photosynthesis takes place in green color light. Why is it so? It is so because chlorophyll is a green color pigment and it is present in plant, which makes them appear green in color. So what happens? This chlorophyll absorbs the blue and red light, and the rate of photosynthesis increase. In the presence of blue and red light, the plant absorbs the chlorophyll present in the plant, it absorbs that light and it utilizes it for preparation of food. Whereas in the presence of green light, as chlorophyll itself is green, it is unable to absorb green light. Rather, it reflects it. And when it is reflected back, that means the light is thrown back, the plant looks green in color. So at that time, the photosynthesis does not take place. So always remember, photosynthesis appears at a maximum rate in blue and red light because chlorophyll absorbs that light and it converts it into the chemical form of energy. Whereas in green light, it cannot absorb the green light, the chlorophyll, it reflected back, so photosynthesis is least. Now when the light is very weak, like suppose the plants which are growing in shade, so what they do? Such plant have another mechanism of undergoing or producing foods, which you will study in the higher classes. Whereas suppose the forest is very thick, like Amazon forest, the canopy, that means very long trees are there, enough long trees and very close to each other, so the sunlight cannot pass through it. So there the photosynthesis has another mechanism. By another mechanism it takes place. They also does not receive enough amount of sunlight, and so photosynthesis is not in a maximum rate. Now there is another important term given in your book, that is compensation point. That means, as we know, for photosynthesis carbon dioxide is very important. So when the amount of carbon dioxide released by us and utilized by the plant becomes equal, that is known as compensation point. That means the amount of carbon dioxide released by the animals in the environment equals to the amount of photosynthesis used by the plants. At that stage is known as compensation point. The second factor is carbon dioxide. The rate of photosynthesis increase with an increase in the concentration of CO2, provided the quality of light is not a limiting factor. Now what these lines mean? This means that when enough amount of carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, plant will use it and the rate of photosynthesis or amount of photosynthesis or amount of food produced will be large. Okay, but suppose that enough of carbon dioxide is present in the environment but there is no light. So does the photosynthesis will take place? It will not take place, because what happens when the light is in enough quantity, suppose the sunlight, then only the plant releases out enough water from its body. So more of the water is absorbed by the root system from the ground, and from the ground it is taken up to the leaves, and in the stomata it get filled up in the, as we have studied in the previous classes, it get filled up in the guard cells, and it leads to opening of the stoma, and when the stoma open, then only the carbon dioxide is able to pass through it and enter into the plant. So when enough sunlight will not be there, then how the stoma will open, and when the stoma will not open, then how carbon dioxide will be utilized. So this is the meaning of the line. Now the second thing is, when enough very high concentration of carbon dioxide is also there, then also the stoma does not open. As we already know that for the process of photosynthesis to take place, optimum amount of factors need to be there. That means not very high, not very low, but a minimum amount of should be present there. Not minimum means optimum. Maximum means very large, minimum means very less, and optimum means medium. Medium amount should be there. So if carbon dioxide concentration is very high in the atmosphere, then also the stoma does not open. It remains closed, and this prevent the exchange of gases. That means carbon dioxide cannot enter into the plants, neither oxygen can be released out. So at that time the rate of photosynthesis decreases. Now the third factor is temperature. The effect of temperature varies with the habitat of the plant. What does this line means? This means that the temperature will depend upon where the plant is living. Either it is in a very warmer climate or in a very colder climate. Habitat means the place where plant is there. Residence. So, like suppose plants of warmer climate, they get enough sunlight, so they undergo the process of photosynthesis there, and they facilitate their production of food. Whereas the plants of colder climate, they don't get enough of sunlight or any other light, so they had to undergo photosynthesis at a very low temperature. Okay, lower than the ones which are present in warmer climate, because there is no availability of sunlight, enough sunlight. So they have adapted to that condition. They have made themselves used to that condition, that we have to undergo photosynthesis at a very low temperature. Second point is that the best amount of temperature needed for the process of photosynthesis to take place at a very good rate, that is 10 degree to 35 degrees Celsius. Up to 30 degrees Celsius, the temperature, the rate of photosynthesis is very high. It takes place doubling with a double rate and it goes on increasing. But if the temperature is more than 35, then the photosynthesis will not undergo as smoothly as it could be. That means the rate will decrease. And if it is lower than 10 degree, then also the rate of photosynthesis will decrease. When the photosynthesis will be high, between 10 to 35 degrees Celsius. Now suppose if the temperature is too high, above 35 degrees Celsius, what happens? As we know, the photosynthesis, you have not been told in this chapter, and it is not in your syllabus to study about the enzymes. If you will go in higher classes and you will study the photosynthesis in detail, then you will know that there are certain chemicals which increase the rate of photosynthesis, which work in a process of photosynthesis. These chemicals are known as enzymes, which are present inside the cell of plant, okay, in the leaf cells. So what happens when the temperature is above 35 degrees Celsius, that means too high, then these enzymes of chemicals get destroyed at that high temperature, and therefore the photosynthesis does not occur. So, for the process of photosynthesis to take place, the temperature should be optimum, that is 10 degree to 35 degrees Celsius. The fourth factor is water. Generally, the rate of photosynthesis decreases under water deficient condition. That means that where the water is not available in a sufficient amount, the rate or the amount of photosynthesis is going to decrease. However, only 1% of the total water absorbed by the plant, only 1% of it is utilized in the formation of food. Then also water plays a very important role. How? When there is sunlight, enough sunlight, then water is absorbed from the soil through the root system and it is carried through the xylem, if you know, xylem vessel, to the different green parts of the plant. So what happens? The stoma present there, it get pressurized as water enters, so the guard cells open and it get filled up with water and the stoma get open and enough of water is pass through it, it open and the gaseous exchange takes place. Whereas suppose the water is not in an available amount, that means water is in a less amount. That time the stoma either remain open for a very short time or it closes. Why? So that it prevent the loss of enough water. Because when the sun is there, when the sunlight is there, though the sunlight is not bright, when the sunlight is there, then also evaporation, the process of evaporation takes place. That means enough of water is lost by the plant body. Like we are also, like us, we are sweating under hot climate. So similarly the sweating of the plant takes place. So if the stoma remain open for a long period of time and water is not there in the plant body, then the entire water will be evaporated out and the plant will die. So to avoid that, what happens? The stoma closes. When enough water is not there, so to store water, the stoma closes itself. And therefore the carbon dioxide cannot pass through it when the stoma closes, because carbon dioxide is passing through the stoma only inside the plant, and the rate of photosynthesis decreases. Another thing what happens when the water is not in an available amount is the protoplasm get dehydrated, which affects the enzyme involved in the photosynthesis, is thus decreasing photosynthesis rate. Now what is the meaning of protoplasm? If you have studied about the cell, inside the cell the liquid or a cell-like matrix is there, that is known as cytoplasm. So and in between of the cell there is an important organelle known as nucleus, and inside the nucleus also there is a fluid present there, that is known as nucleoplasm. So when we take cytoplasm plus nucleoplasm together, it is known as protoplasm. So when water is not there enough in a plant body, what will happen? The cell start losing water. The water will not be able to produced inside the cell, and the cell will become dehydrated. It will losing water, and with this condition will happen, then the enzymes, that means the chemical which are utilized in the process of photosynthesis, they also get destroyed, and so the rate of photosynthesis decreases. Significance of photosynthesis or importance of photosynthesis, which is the last topic and a very important topic. So the first point is, it is the primary source of organic food and energy for all forms of life, either directly or indirectly. That means that as photosynthesis is the process by which plant produce food, so food is produced in a form of glucose, C6H12O6. So this process can be utilized in formation of organic food. Why we are calling it organic? It is because glucose is a compound made up of carbon and hydrogen. So compounds which are made up of carbon and hydrogen are known as organic. And Directly, plants use it for the process of preparation of food. Secondly, indirectly, we can use it. Other animals like we or any other animal, decomposers means organisms which are feeding on decaying matter. All this can feed on the plants and they can utilize the food. The second point is excess of sugars produced by photosynthesis are either stored in the form of carbohydrate or used in the formation of other organic compound. So plants prepare food. Plants prepare food, and sometimes food is produced in a very large quantity. So plant cannot utilize the entire food at one time. So it needs to store it. So excess of food is stored in a form of starch, and sometimes plant also utilize that starch in preparation of other chemicals also for the requirement of different processes of the plant. Different life processes like respiration, nitrogen fixation, etc. Point 3, photosynthesis helps to purify air and also maintains the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the ecosystem. As we know, photosynthesis is a process in which there is a requirement of carbon dioxide. So for us, the carbon dioxide is a waste material. So we released it out in the atmosphere. What the plant does, the plant take that carbon dioxide and utilize in the process of photosynthesis. So it purifies the environment, and secondly, it utilizes the carbon dioxide and releases oxygen. So it somehow balance the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the environment. Ecosystem is the environment. Number 4, photosynthetic process led to the formation of life on Earth. It was believed that about 2 billion years ago, when there was no life on Earth in any form, there was no free oxygen in the atmosphere. Thus, this process of photosynthesis was responsible for converting the totally anaerobic condition on primitive Earth into the aerobic conditions present now. So, what happened at the beginning? That means when Earth has not been evolved, Earth was not present. So origin of life means how Earth developed. So while the Earth developed, at the beginning there was no life. So at that time there were only vapor of gases and different gases, water. That things were also only present that time. There was no oxygen that time, and when there was no oxygen, there was no possibility of life on Earth. So what happened? There were small plants or plant like organisms present that time, which survived on the sulfur. Sulfur is a chemical in which it used to survive. So what happened? These organisms undergo photosynthesis and they released oxygen to the environment. And these oxygen, when released to the environment, it led to the formation of origin of life in the earth. When this oxygen was released out, this oxygen was utilized and the life began on earth. The last point is origin of fossil fuel is considered to be the accumulation of organic material which was formed by the deep burial of plants and animals millions of years ago. The energy stored in all these fuels is basically solar energy that was trapped and stored during photosynthesis millions of years in the primitive earth. Primitive earth means the previous earth. When the life was originating, at that time, old earth, what happened? These plants died, and you know that photosynthesis entire glucose is not used, half is utilized, stored in the form of starch. So this food was stored in the form of starch in the plants. Plant died and it get accumulated in the soil. When plant dies, any organism dies, what happens? Body get mixed with the soil. So this how they remain, they stored in the soil, and they converted into fossil fuels like energy and whatever chemical was there, that converted into fossil fuels, and that fossil fuel only is utilized by us today in various industrial process and various other processes. So that is all about today's lesson, and the further explanation on the experiments will be given to you later